I am thankful to the organizer of the event and particularly Professor Muthukumaran from NIT Trichy, session coordinator of the today's session, Dr. Sujata, chairman of this today's session, Dr. Nilima Satyam, young and dynamic researcher and academician. Dr. Ankesh Kumar is my colleague at the SVNIT Surat. My topic of presentation is stabilization solidification of the industrial contaminated lead-zinc clay residue using the limestone calcinide clay. I am sharing my presentation. Can you see my presentation here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So with this, as mentioned the title, LZSR is a solid waste form generated from a lead zinc smelter site after the extraction of the lead and zinc from the parent material. And the chemical additive which we are talking for LC3 is a low carbon and low cost material which we are using for the stabilization, solidification of the heavy metals. This work is being done by my research scholar, Dr. Vemula Reddy, Anand Vemula Reddy. He was awarded this year in the year 2021 his PhD. Professor Krishna Reddy from University of Illinois, Chicago has also contributed lot in this research on this topic of the geo-environmental engineering. My outline of the presentation is in this sequence: introduction, literature review, objectives, methodology, results contribution, conclusion, future scope of the study, and references. Here I have shown one of the photographs. We all know that India is now facing a drastic problem of the pollution, which may be of the air pollution, water pollution, or the soil. All the environmental scientists are working very hard to reduce the pollution for an environmental friendly environment. Now, one of the important measures that we need to take is either to mitigate or remove the contaminants from the environment. Here, the slide shows the anthropogenic pollution, means the man-made pollutions. The sources of contamination has been mentioned here. It may be of the two types: geogenic sources and anthropogenic sources. Geogenic sources are those which are occurred naturally in the nature of the environmental actions, such as soil, erosion, and etc., which has been mentioned here. Whereas anthropogenic sources are the man-made activities, and these sources are due to that. Here, in the earlier slide, we have been mentioned the various sources of the contamination. Here, this has been shown in the pictorial form, some additional sources, such as the landfill, underground storage tanks, local industry, livestock waste, farm pesticides and fertilizers, household waste, septic tank and leach lines. These sources are contaminating the ground by releasing here. The sources includes the contaminants such as heavy metals and other organic contaminants. The slide which has been shown here, with this background, these are the few reasons which has been shown in this slide are responsible for the contamination of the soils and surface. Increase the pace of industrialization and urbanization, the use of fertilizer, pesticide, paints, gasoline, etc., the release of toxic chemicals that are complex in nature, which may be organic or inorganic. Heavy metal contamination is regarded as one of the most toxic and challenging concerns for an engineering community. These heavy metals pose a significant threat to the humans as well as the aquatic life. This is shown the mixed type of the contaminants, which may be organic or inorganic. The next slide also, unused chemicals and dyed textile waste leachates has been shown. Now, we are coming to the introduction of the topic here. The biggest concern of all the contaminated sites are mixed pollutants, such as organic, inorganic contamination. Organic contamination includes mainly BTEX, is benzene, toluene, ethylene, and xylene. Whereas the inorganic contamination, which includes the nickel, zinc, copper, cadmium, lead, chromium, and arsenic. These metals and metalloids behave contrarily in various environmental conditions available. Delayed strength behavior when higher concentration of heavy metals are present in the contaminated soils, and ultimately reach the underlying groundwater in the form of leaching activities. What is the need for this study? In India, the Central Pollution Control Board has identified potentially impacted zones based on the CEPI, that is Comprehensive Environmental Pollution Index. Total 43 sites are identified as the potentially contaminated zones, out of which 17 exist in the 4 states. They are Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, and Uttar Pradesh. In Gujarat, total of the 6 places are identified, such as Ankleshwar, Ahmedabad, Bhavnagar, Junagadh, Vapi, and Vatwa. These areas are highly compacted with most of the industrial units which produce solid waste in large quantities. The waste includes the toxic waste, hazardous waste, mining waste, and pharmaceutical waste, etc. The literature review which has been shown here in the next 2 slides, where the number of columns has been given in the form of the literature review, where what are the industrial waste, what is the heavy metals, what are the binder materials used, and what are the observations by the different researchers have been mentioned here. In the first literature, it has been observed by the author that leaching of the treated sludge primarily depends on the pH and dissolution of the metal hydroxide. The Catalan et al. In his paper has been published that the heavy metals in the nitrogenous site will stay immobilized with the high pH condition after CAY and OPC treatment, which increase the long-term environmental stability. Srivastava has shown his work on zinc, Mn, FeR immobilized at the neutral pH, whereas the lead and nickel at the 7 to 11 pH. And Choi has done the work on increasing the strength, and 98 to 99% of the arsenic and lead are mobilized after addition of the 7.5% of the OPC, satisfying the criteria in both UCS as well as leaching. In the next slide of the literature, Zhang et al. Has been used the blast furnace, slag, then BOF, SS and FGD gypsum, and the immobilization of the arsenic via cemented back material has been done. Here in the last paper, immobilization of the chromium and magnesium manganese is significant in LC3 specimens. So LC3 is being used by him in the year 2020. What are the objectives of this study, which I am going to present here, is characterization of the LZSR slag in terms of the physical, chemical, and microstructural aspects. To understand the stabilization, solidification behavior of the industrial contaminated slag residue, to assess the strength, leaching, speciation, mineralogy, morphology, and thermal behavior of the LC3 treated specimens. Comparison of the LC3 specimens using the traditional ordinary Portland cement has been done here in this work. The objectives has been written here in the 4 different slides as objective 1 to 4, in which this slide shows the characteristics of the untreated sample. The physical, chemical, and microstructural characterization are shown here. In the next slide, we do have the methodology, that is stabilization, solidification of the industrial slag residue. Remedial option in SS methods, which is most economical and easy to apply on the fields, has to be studied. As far as the third objective is concerned, it is for the treated samples or treated materials are characterized using the various treatment methods shown above. Here we do have the BCR speciation, X-ray diffraction for the mineralogy and oxides, SEM scanning electron microscope used for morphology and surface texture, FTIR, that is the Fourier transform infrared for the bonding between the materials, and TGA, thermogravimetric analysis for studying the effect of change in the temperature on the material. The fourth objective, which has been shown here, is a part of the comparison between the two materials which has been used by the researchers. One is the OPC and second is the LC3. So comparison of both the binders as the last objective has to be presented here in this paper. You see here, industrial contaminated slag residue consists of the basic heavy metals that are present in the contaminated slag residue, and the red highlighted values which has been shown here are the metals that are exceeding the regularity limits as per the HADS Waste Management Rules 2016. And this above concentration is being achieved from the total heavy metals concentration analysis as per USC PA 3050B method, which is the standard method of practice for determining the total heavy metals present in the contaminated soils. The test material which has been used here in the study have been mentioned here. This is the lead zinc slag residue known as the LZSR in our study, which is also known as the xerosite. Limestone calcinide clay cement content, LC3, and ordinary Portland cement. So these test materials are used for the study. In this slide, from where the LZSR has been brought, so contaminated LZSR was collected from the lead zinc smelter, Hindustan Zinc Limited, Debari district, Rajasthan, India. About 650 kilograms of the sample was collected from the top 0.5 meter depth at the dumping site and stored in a sealed containers. And contaminated LZSR was air dried an homogenide and sieve through a 2 mm sieve. So you can see here in picture the lead zinc smelter slag. These are the properties or the values which has been measured of the properties using the total heavy metal concentration by complete digestion test. This is the limestone calcinide clay cement, LC3, which is low carbon and low cost cementitious binder compared to the conventional Portland cement. It was procured from the Technological Action and Rural Advancement Tara, Delhi, and the major chemical composition of LC3 is summarized here in the table as shown on the right hand side. Ordinary Portland cement has been procured from the local vendors, and the properties of the cement has been mentioned here in this table. The different physical tests which are performed here: natural water content, specific gravity, compaction, soil classification, Atterberg limits, grain size distribution, and unconfined compressive strength. Mini compaction test was performed as per the research from the Sridharan and Sivapullaya 2005. The difference between the results obtained from the mini compaction test and Proctor compaction test are found to be negligible for all practical applications. In view of that, this mini compaction apparatus has been used for the compaction study. Unconfined compressive strength has been performed on the treated sample and untreated samples. The chemical test has been performed here, which may be a pH value to know the current status, whether is it acidic or basic. TCLP test is to know the leaching or to find out the leaching due to the runoff effect. Speciation test, there are 4 stages of this test, which will be showing to you, which has been to the sequential extraction procedure and soil digestion. To know the total heavy metal concentration, this test have been performed. pH of the soil has been performed using the NR digital pH and EC meter, shown here in this sketch. The toxicity characteristic leaching procedure test, TCLP, has been conducted using the end-to-end Saker. The 500 ml of HDP TCLP bottles were used, and TCLP extraction solution, which you can observe here in this last slide, which has been presented here in this slide, this last figure. Now, sequential extraction procedure, one of the important part, where there are 4 stages: acid soluble fraction, reducible fractions, oxidizable fractions, and residual fractions. There is a need to reduce this first 2 and increase in the oxidizable and residual fractions to be increased. Increase in this value of F3 and F4 will make the insoluble heavy metal hydroxide, and which reduces the long-term leaching. Complete soil digestion tests have been performed to know the concentration, which has been presented here. Spectroscopic tests were conducted or results were obtained from the other institutes or IITs. X-ray diffraction analysis, particularly for the mineralogy and oxides. SEM to know the morphology and surface texture. Fourier transfer infrared to know the bonding between the materials such as SiO2, etc. And thermogravimetric analysis to know the effect of change in the temperature in the material. X-ray diffraction analysis was, the results were taken from IIT Kanpur after supplying the sample. The results of the scanning electron microscope was also taken from IIT Kanpur after supplying the sample. Fourier transform infrared were conducted at our institutes. Thermogravimetric analysis was conducted also at our institute. Results based on the LZSR treated specimen LC3, what we are going to discuss here. Here you can find that in this one, carbonate ion, CO3 2- with Al plus ions produce the carboaluminates. The results of this is that the change in the strength mainly due to the presence of these ions in the limestone, this CO3 2- ion in the limestone and Al plus ion in the low-grade calcinite clay, and which form the carboaluminates that are helpful in achieving the low pore volume and higher packing density of the treated material. Here you have the results of the LZSR treated specimen with LC3. This is the stage where the change in the acidic to alkaline is due to the reaction of the OH ions, and reaction with the Ca plus ions in the binder causes the change in the pH value. So this is a transition of the acidic to alkalinity help. Here the binders are used in the percentage starting from 6%, 8%, and 10%, and which has been kept in the curing for 3 days, 7 days, 14 days, and 28 days. The results based on the TCLP, LZSR treated specimen LC3 from TCLP. Zinc has reached the regulatory limit by 14 days of curing. Here, these three materials have been shown. The lead and cadmium reaches after 28 days of curing, and 8 and 10% of the binders could considerably reduce the heavy metals leaching. The metals were solidified in the form of hydroxide and hydration products. Here you can see that there is a need of increase in the residuals and oxidizables, which has been increased after the curing of, here it has been mentioned 28 days P4 phase is increased, P3 phases are increased up to this percentage, and approximately 50% of the heavy metals are transformed to the stable metals form, that is P3 and P4 phases. So are most important to reduce the heavy metals leaching, and which has been increased. Results based on the LZSR treated specimen LC3, TCLP, zinc has been reached to the regulatory limit. This has been covered. This is scanning this is the sequential extraction procedure where the P3, P4 phases are important, as discussed. TGS studies has been done. This TDS studies is a thermogravitational analysis, and in this study, the formation of the CaOH2 and CaSH gel shows the immobilization of the heavy metals in the treated system. We are going fast as the time limit is over. Here FTIR studies has been shown. Here the XRG studies has been shown. Here you can see the figure A and B both. In the B, the pore spaces are been reduced, and which has made the more stable. Here the results of the strength evolution using the binders are being shown, using the cement as well as the LC3 both in the different percentage 6, 8, and 10, and comparison has been shown. Leachability of the zinc TCLP has been shown here in this, and zinc immobilization is highly supported by the LC binder. It has been found in compared to the ordinary Portland cement.
Professor Solanki, I think you had to.
Yes, I am just wind up within 1 minute.
Sure.
Okay. So Lead is solidified in the form of hydroxide in the treated samples. Here, similarly, solidification efficiency of 90% is achieved when stabilized with the LC binder. And speciation analysis has been done, and P4 phases are highly responsible for reducing the heavy metals in the longer run, and clearly seen that 50% of the bioavailable heavy metals are solidified in the form of residual and oxidizable phases. Just going past mineralogical analysis has been shown here. And conclusion, what have been discussed here, pH transformation of acidic to alkalic, leachability is being of zinc, lead, and cadmium, LZSR reached to the regulatory limits, reduce acid soluble phases and increase the residual phases, compressive strength has been increased. XRD result shows that the zinc and lead had become an integral part of the crystalline phase, physically and chemically in the form of SiL based, and that were responsible for immobilization of the heavy metals. So LC3 is a promising binder in solidifying, stabilizing the contaminated soils. The treated soils can be reused as safe and sustainable construction materials. The recommendation has been kept here, future scope. Out of this work, we could publish the 3 SCI journal paper with the help of Professor Krishna Reddy, and presentation in the conference. Also, ISSMG has approved the grant to visit the conference for my research scholar and publish the paper at UIC Chicago. Thank you for your patience. Thank you.